Hello and welcome to Flappity Flap Podcast with your hosts, Brandon and Sarah.
Every time without fail. You had a...
Idea?
Yeah. Did you want to...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So there was a recent thing where...
You got a breath now?
The whole recent thing...
From walking across the room and back?
Yeah. The whole recent thing with the Queen passing away and Donald Trump speaking up and saying, I would have gotten a better seat than... I don't know, that's not a good Trump.
Do you want to try again?
I would have gotten a better seat than... That's like Bill Cosby. Than Biden.
You want to try here? Because you do a pretty good impression of him.
I would have gotten a better seat than him. He's pretty easy to mimic.
Yeah.
And we just thought that was crazy. And also we're thinking,
of all the things to say at this time, like, just know when to be the bigger... Just know when to shut up. So we're just talking non-politically, just as a person. He's a fucking weird guy. Yeah. It's weird to say that and make it all about you. How about it's weird for anyone other than like a toddler to say something like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. What
they wouldn't have sat me in the back.
What is normal to say is something about the Queen. Like it's so tragic. Or what was anything, really, other than, I would have gotten a better seat than him. And again, this is not politically driven because Biden's pretty fucking weird. Sniffing kids, sucking on his wife's finger on stage. So, like, we're just gonna run through.
Sarah. Well, what I was gonna do was, like, try to talk about their weird little foibles or habits. But then when I looked it up, there's just like weird shit that they did, which is fair. But it kind of became something a little different than I think.
Okay. Then I was thinking.
Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty weird. There's some weird shit these guys do. So basically I just looked up, lists of weird stuff that presidents do or have done. And they're just all over the place. It's like they're just all wild cards. And that's how they got to be president. Just, I don't know. Like
by being psychotic?
A little bit. Definitely back in the day, they could just get away with more. There wasn't like all the media that there is now where you can scrutinize everything they do and how they look and how they sound and,
But also just like not having any kind of awareness. Like Biden's weirdness, like
no one should have had to tell him, like, and I'm sure they did before he took office.
Kissing little girls that are clearly like uncomfortable with him doing that. And
I've definitely had like family members or like parents, friends who are just more touchy-feely, and I'm not trying to excuse it, but I'm also like, I'm not sure they were pedophiles. They're just, no one ever said like that kind of looks weird, especially if you're doing it with children, like not like touching me in weird places, but just overly touching and kissing. But kind of like when I observe those people, they did it to everyone. But it was like, you should really hold back when it's not your children, especially. And
that is something about Biden, is he did do it to everyone. There's video of him like
he's
hugging.
An equal opportunity molester.
It's exactly. It's still fucking weird.
Yeah.
And
I gotta adjust my thing. Hold on. All right.
There's one video of him hugging Hillary, and he's like holding her waist and holding her really close and just like in her face.
And usually people are trying to pull back from the pelvic contact. So if you're holding someone's waist, you're pushing their pelvis. Like, it's the one area of the body that if it's not your partner, you want like separato.
I mean, this is something that like a kid should only be allowed to, like, okay, you get a pass because you're a kid or a teenager or whatever.
He's so appalled that he's holding his cheeks adult, like in embarrassment or something.
As an old man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know that this is weird and uncomfortable?
I think
she's like pulling away from you, bro.
Yeah. I think... Sorry, I just can't quite get the level right.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
Kill you.
I think because when he was younger, he was like a football guy and like and a handsome, just always, you can't really see that now because he's like an old man. But I think he was like charming and handsome, and he kind of maybe got like a pass on stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
touching
it was
a
like,
little too much.
Oh, I'm just like an affectionate guy.
Yeah.
People get away.
Sucked his wife's finger on stage that one day.
Yeah, when she's like, I think giving like a speech or an intro that's like serious. So he kind of minimized whatever she was. I don't even know what she was talking about. just made her like made it about him.
Yeah.
You know. But
so yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of equal opportunity there.
Yeah.
Because we were obviously taking shots at Trump for
I mean, he does make it easy, but you know.
It's just all about him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the Queen died. How can I make this about me?
Right.
Biden got a bad seat at the funeral.
And it's like this jealousy
thing. I would have gotten a much better seat.
But like everyone gets jealous, but you kind of know as an adult to stow it, you know, and just like
get over it and be a little bit comfortable.
Because he has the mentality of a toddler.
Yeah, exactly. So be a little bit comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
But there's clearly
a lot of stuff. All right. So let's start off strong with you know, one thing I didn't look up is like which president they were, like what number, but I did, you know, put down the years. So Zachary Taylor was you can look at the picture if you want to just see, you know, he looks kind of like a tough old guy, but he overindulged. He was president from 1849 to 1850, so not very long, and you're about to find out why. He had just served 16 months in office, and he died by eating too many cherries. He was at a 4th of July celebration in 1850, and
Did his bowels get impacted?
They don't know because
actually that'd be
of the
from
time
seeds or something.
They didn't have like you know,
forensics.
Yeah, they couldn't probably do a very good autopsy. So he ate a bunch of cherries and iced milk. And one article said that the combination of the acidic cherries with the milk was believed to have caused gastroenteritis, which causes severe cramping, nausea, dehydration, and eventually death. Another article said bacteria that was present in either cherries or the milk led to his death a few days later.
Whoa.
Can you imagine, like, that's your legacy, kind of, or that's the last thing people remember is you ate too many cherries?
The guy ate
milk.
Too many cherries. Well, I'm guessing that was just a common type thing back then, though. How many cherries could he have possibly eaten?
I don't know.
I kind of am interested in the number of cherries.
Well, I don't think they were keeping count. I mean, it wasn't like a cherry eating contest where they're like,
I know
1,
you don't have
2.
the information.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he was allergic and he didn't know it. Because I remember my aunt getting, we used to get cherries, the managers at her company that she worked at, that I also worked at, they would just they'd bring like Japanese fruits, and then like one time they gifted a bunch of cherries to people.
Yeah.
And we were eating cherries because I kind of like halfway lived with them, and we were eating cherries all the time. And she ate so many and she got like a full body rash. And It was like she had eaten cherries before, but I guess never in the quantity that like her body was like, whoa.
Like she developed an allergy?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So maybe it was that many, you know? She's lucky she didn't die. If she had had iced milk, maybe she would have died. I don't know.
That sucks.
Yeah. So be careful with cherries. If you've never eaten cherries in such a large quantity, just be careful.
I never would have thought you could die from such a thing.
So we all know about Richard Nixon and his shenanigans, but one major shenanigan I did not know about is crazy. He was president from 69 to 74. 16, just to be clear. He was obsessed and infuriated with this columnist, journalist guy, Jack Anderson, who I think he was like an investigative journalist, and I think he had made other people's lives kind of miserable and but maybe he was just picking on Nixon because Nixon's like the top guy. And he was like writing articles, I guess, about him or smearing him in the media.
Oh.
And Nixon was they couldn't shut him down. And I think he did things to try to smear him, and the guy just always came out on top. They couldn't bring him down. So they actually talked about assassinating him.
Whoa.
Like with AIDS. Not with AIDS, but with his assistant.
Ever heard of AIDS?
Yeah. So they considered putting poison in his medicine cabinet, like putting like a pill in like a medicine bottle and just waiting for him to take the pill. But then the guy
smearing him with untrue?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he was like, obviously Nixon was like a shady guy. So, you know, but you have these people
planning on fucking killing somebody.
So they talked about smearing LSD on his steering wheel because if you absorb too much, it can kill you. Yeah. And then I think...
and others because you're going to probably crash into a bunch of people.
So everything they tried to think of, and the weird thing is that I read in another article was the guy was like a Mormon, I think. So he had like a bunch of kids. So they were worried that any attempts would kill his wife or his children. If they like put poison in something, they had just enough decency to not want to kill his family members. And I think that they abandoned the plot because then maybe the Watergate scandal happened. So, yeah, that luckily for that guy and his family, they never put that plan into effect.
So, how did this info get out? And how did Nixon not get some kind of did he actually attempt any of these things?
I think it came out later, after he had already kind of been a little bit destroyed by the Watergate scandal.
But this was all just consideration. It wasn't, nothing was put into effect.
Well, they talked about it with his, I won't say aides because that's confusing.
His presidential aides?
Yeah. People knew about it, and I think they couldn't talk about it at the time because he was the top guy, and even shortly afterwards. So I think they've since come out, and some have kind of hemmed and hawed about how much detail or how serious it was, but enough people, I guess, have confirmed that it was insane. A thing. Isn't that insane?
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
What a fucking psychopath.
Right. So again, that whole rise above it, be the adult.
It's out of the question to just stop doing shady shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to kill this guy.
Well, the guy might have been kind of, just targeting him, and, he found someone who, sometimes if you find someone who reacts and who you just can tell you're getting to, you just love it. That's what you're looking for, So, but you got to just rise above it. I don't know. Maybe the guy's media coverage was really impacting his popularity, but yeah, if you're not doing shady shit, you're probably going to be okay. Anyway, the other thing that I kind of appreciate is he loved to bowl so much that he had a 1-lane alley put in the basement of the White House. He had a bowling alley installed in the White House. I think that's kind of cool. I'm surprised they didn't already have that. Like a game
Do you think
area?
They use it still?
Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like it's not cool to bowling, in a serious way, but I would bowl.
Bowling's fun.
I would bowl once a week, probably. I think if bowling alleys didn't smell, now they probably smell less shoes, yeah.
You could probably bring your own shoes.
Now when I think of bowling shoes, I feel bad for Peggy Hill.
Yeah, her 12 and a half men's size.
I'm glad I'm an 8.5. Anyway, this guy is my favorite guy. I just feel like he'd probably be horrible to be around, but I just have suddenly a lot of admiration for him, and it is Lyndon B Johnson.
Lyndon B Johnson.
He was president from 1963 to 1969. He did things his own way and didn't care what you thought about it. He liked giving interviews from the bathroom while going to the bathroom. I feel like you would love that.
Why would
not?
Why would he do that? So while he was shitting?
I think if he had to go, and he didn't want it to stop the flow of the conversation. So
while he was peeing or pooping or both?
They didn't specifically say.
Because that would be very uncomfortable, I think, for everyone if you're
But the fact that they said...
Weird.
He would... So this presidential biographer said he just didn't want the conversation to stop. If you were in the bedroom holding back when he went to the bathroom, he would call you in and say, "Come on in, I haven't finished what I'm saying."
What the fuck?
Yeah. He also liked peeing in the parking lot of the House office building as the urge took him. And if someone came into the Capitol bathroom as he was finishing at the urinal, he would just strike up a conversation. He wouldn't wait. He wouldn't wait outside or...
Huh.
It sounds like almost a little bit of a fetish. Or maybe just because people were shying away from it. It was no, I'm going to put my foot down, and because I'm president, I can make you, continue having this conversation.
What in the world?
Another weird thing he would do is, this is a weird one. I don't know. He would test the character of people that he knew by pretending to get into car crashes with them to see how they would react. He owned an amphicar.
One of the amphibious cars? That's cool.
He would drive, pretend to lose control, and then veer towards a body of water and see how they reacted. It just sounds like a sadist, really.
What in the world?
Yeah.
You can kind of see it in his eyes.
Can you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like maybe he has a lazy eye. Unless he's just got outward set eyes. Some people just have eyes like that.
Yeah. So here's a bathroom related thing that made it possible for him to be president is that when he was in the military in World War II, he boarded a plane called the Wabash Cannonball for his one and only bombing mission in the South Pacific. But he had to use the bathroom so badly he got off and went to the bathroom. By the time he got back the plane had left and it ended up crashing and everyone on it died. So going to the bathroom saved his life. It's weird that they wouldn't wait for him.
That could be why he's got this weird bathroom thing going on in his
Don't
brain.
let it interrupt.
Fucking... He's like a cartoon character a little bit with that fake crashing his boat car.
Whoa.
I used to love those things. When I was little, I always thought I want one of those.
Where would you see them? Because I've seen them in like the war movies, but not a lot. I don't know.
I think I saw them in war vehicle books, stuff like that.
Did you read war books when you were younger?
I used to really be interested in war vehicles.
You've talked about that before. Is that why you drew Tank Monkey? Maybe you talked about with Tank Monkey.
I just felt like drawing Tank
Monkey.
I don't know. But there's there was this old book from the 70s that I rented from the Santa Rosa Library when I was little, and there was this one tank that they were like, this is what tanks are going to look like in the year 2000. And it had like a bubble on top of it. It had like a ray gun. It was ridiculous.
What would the bubble have been made from?
I have no idea. Glass? I don't fucking
Bulletproof,
know.
missile-proof glass.
Exactly.
Like what they have in taxis.
And it has like a
cars.
Tesla coil or something on that, instead of a cannon.
That's good.
Yeah, pretty funny. But yeah, those little boat cars, those are so cool. I have always loved them.
It is a cool idea.
What a bastard, though.
Yeah. Fucked up.
And I just imagine him, in the driver's seat and just like, as he's doing the whole crash thing.
Looking at their faces.
Gleefully looking at them while they're just looking ahead, terrified.
Yeah. And then someone who plays it cool at the end, he's like, you did good. You're a real man. Yeah, this guy was our president. So anyway.
Maybe the war hardened him a little bit.
But that's like...
in the way that he felt like he needed to fuck with people.
Yeah. This guy, another guy I really like.
Test your mettle.
Andrew Jackson, who was president from 1829 to 1837, taught his parrot, Polly, no marks for originality, to swear like a sailor.
How nice.
Legend has it that the cussing parrot had to be removed from his own funeral when it commenced swearing so loud and long that it disturbed people and had to be carried from the house. Don't you think that's wrong? Because he loved teaching that parrot how to swear. Don't you think he would have wanted that parrot to swear?
Probably, but if you're trying to have a proper funeral and you've got,
It's not about the survivors, it's about the guy.
I know, but like, can you imagine?
It's about the survivors,
You've got... Yeah, it was probably a mixed group.
What would he say? What would the parrot say? My fucker's dead.
It probably was just mimicry, beautiful. Right?
Yeah.
The cursing parrot.
Yeah.
That's a funny story,
Polly.
Polly's over here ruining the funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Don't read ahead.
What president was that had the
Andrew
bird?
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson.
So that one's just like a painted portrait of him because it was a long time ago.
Andrew Jackson, he's on the
one of the dollars or one of the
$5 bill, right? Am I dumb? Let me think.
No, you're not dumb. You might be dumb in this specific instance, but...
Thanks. Nope, that's fucking Lincoln. I am very dumb.
No,
who is on the?
Just search is Andrew Jackson on money.
What the hell? He's on the 20.
There you go.
I'm a buffoon.
Why are you a buffoon? You guessed that he's on some kind of money.
Because I've seen money a lot.
That's true.
In my life.
That's true. I totally thought Lincoln was on the 20.
That's not a brag, by the way. I've just been around it.
Trust me.
Trust me, guys.
Take it from me. I have seen money a lot. On the ground.
So many money.
In other people's wallets.
Exactly. Yeah, he's on the 20.
That's funny. He's on the 20. I like that guy.
And he had a cursing parrot.
Okay, so this guy is Grover Cleveland, 1885 to 1889. That's not his lifespan. That's his presidential tenure. He met his... Let me know when you're done.
Sorry.
What are you looking up?
I'm trying to see what the hell the parrot said. There's got to be some info.
It was old. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, but somebody wrote it down.
What were some swears in 1829? Because then we could make our own story.
Before the sermon and while the crowd was gathering, a wicked parrot that was a household pet got excited and commenced swearing so loud and long as to disturb the people and had to be carried from the house.
How is it a wicked parrot? It's just doing what he taught it to. You'll do anything for a cracker. I will. Or a chip. Or Twix.
I'm not seeing anything on any specific swears. Damn it!
Is that what the parrot said? Is that what Polly said? Are we ready to continue?
Yes,
okay.
Sorry.
So, look at Grover Cleveland, because I think he's the one I said looks like Brian Doyle Murray, who's Bill Murray's brother.
Oh, he does.
AKA Captain Knuckles.
Yeah, did you guys in the
Clark
audience?
Griswold's boss in Christmas Vacation. And what else? Oh, he was in Wayne's World.
He's been in some newer shows, too.
He was a video game owner guy.
He's the guy that talks like... I can't do it.
That's pretty good. He's
got a really rough, but also oddly high-pitched sounding voice.
Yeah.
Captain Knuckles on Flapjack. Mm-hmm. He's fucking Bill Murray's brother. He's not fucking Bill Murray's brother. He is Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I was looking up pictures of him for some reason. I think probably for a Flapjack
You were
cartoon
doing a Flapjack cartoon.
I was going to make, but...
Oh, yeah.
So I saw a photo of him and was like, oh my God, he looks just like Bill Murray.
That's weird. Like a young picture of him?
Younger. But, yeah.
I never knew.
I just looked it up. They obviously have the same last name.
Right. But anyway, he looks like Grover Cleveland, who was president from 1885 to 1889. He met his wife shortly after she was born. She was the daughter of a family friend. He acted as her guardian when her father died in 1875, when she was just 11 years old. That's not when they started a relationship. But when she began college, they began a romantic relationship. And they married when she was 21 years old. She was the youngest first lady ever.
And he was what, 50?
Let's see. Oh, God, he was 49.
That's quite a gap.
Yeah, mind the gap. Part of his jaw was made of vulcanized rubber as a result of a secret surgery on a friend's yacht. What does that mean?
Why?
It's probably something inside that, like, you can't even see, you know.
I want a rubber jaw. I want to be able to be like a snake. I want to be able to swallow an ostrich egg.
Maybe when he wants to, if somebody punches him, they just, like, bounce off of him, you know? Go ahead, punch me right here. Boing. So I see why Abe Lincoln grew a beard, because if you look at, there's an earlier picture that I found with him without a beard, and it is...
I know a little bit about Abe.
Do ya?
I do.
Let's see. Look him up with no beard. It's
he just looks a bit
rough. Alien. Like his whole top half of his head is like I feel like it houses an enormous brain, but his ears are super big, and the beard just sort of like evened everything out a bit. I think it was a wise decision, you know. And he obviously looks more like wise and older and someone you'd look up to.
Scrawny.
Yeah.
And almost feminine. He's got insane cheekbones, and his jawline is very. Look at
his neck in the picture in this one. His neck is so skinny. I mean, look at that. He has a huge head. I think he was just very skinny.
Oops.
And he was also, I think, very tall.
The mic.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
6'4"? Yeah, that's pretty tall.
Interesting.
So he was a bartender. He opened a shop called Berry and Lincoln with his friend William F. Berry in New Salem, Illinois in 1833. But things fell apart when Berry, who was an alcoholic, consumed too much of the shop's supply.
Wow. Yeah. What a fucker.
Yeah. So maybe don't open a
bar with an alcoholic.
Or if you're an alcoholic, like just know that that's going to be too much temptation for you.
Supposedly he had a higher pitched voice than they usually depict him having. They definitely,
yeah.
And also he, I guess, was a really good boxer. He could beat the crap out of people.
I think it said he was a good wrestler. Hold on. Yeah, he won like 300 matches or something.
I thought he was a boxer. Am I just spreading misinformation?
His wrestling career, maybe they also depict him as a boxer instead of a wrestler. He only lost one match out of 300 on his way to being inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That's pretty incredible.
That is incredible. Much like Tom Hardy in his jiu-jitsu, well, not really, that's one tournament, but I just feel like that's everywhere right now. I just keep seeing all these pictures of Tom Hardy winning this jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah.
And telling the guy opposite him, like, just act like you don't know who I am and do what you would normally do. As if, you're like, I'm fucking, like, on the floor. Tom Hardy's got me in a chokehold or whatever. It's pretty funny. Benjamin Harrison was president from 1889 to 1893. And he is, like, the first president to install electricity in the White House. But he was actually afraid of it. So he wouldn't.
Fair enough.
He wouldn't actually touch the switches himself out of fear of being electrocuted. No, you go ahead. Have fun. You switch that light on for me?
Honestly, though, I mean, at the beginning,
first,
it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable fear.
But like,
especially...
you're like, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to be that guy who brings it to the White House, but like, I'm going to let everyone else touch the switches instead of me.
Especially because he's an old man, and his mindset was probably like, I know how technology works. They bring something new in, it kills a bunch of people.
That's how they learn how to make it better.
And then they figure it out,
right.
like fucking asbestos and, the countless other things.
Asbestos is probably what killed him, because I don't think that came out.
Lead in the pipes, all kinds of other crap that has just been killing people.
So,
fair enough.
He was called
Harrison.
President Harrison, because you still got to call him president, I think, even after they're not president anymore.
Ex-Pres Harrison.
No, I think you just call him President Harrison.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that's
correct.
correct.
They call him. Look it up.
No, I think you're wrong.
Look it up.
I don't feel like it.
I think they forever have the title of president, even after they're no longer. Like, obviously, to distinguish between the current president, you'd say the current president or the sitting president. I think you always call them president.
Huh.
The grandson of President William Henry Harrison. I don't know why. No, we're still talking about the same guy. I don't know why that information's in there. He was called the human iceberg because he was so stiff when he was with people. But now this article is saying that he might have just had anxiety. Which makes sense, because you're like that. You know, you get, like, stiff.
Too many people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of...
Well, people can be wild cards. You don't know what they're going to do all the time.
Yeah.
They might...
They've got their flapping hands, and they're in your face and coming at you from all sides.
They might try to steer the aqua car into the...
Or pull you into a bathroom to finish a conversation. When they're doing a Duke.
The human iceberg. How nice.
Yeah.
What a fucking bullying the president.
I'm going to dub you that now. I'm going to start calling you, okay, you iceberg. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that.
So people bullied him on his anxiety.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't think they kind of knew. They didn't have that term back in 1893, They probably didn't even have the phrase mental health.
Bully meant something else.
Yeah, I meant anxiety. I meant anxiety.
Okay, yeah. No, they called it stress, probably.
Yeah, or wussiness.
And men weren't allowed to have it.
Girly man syndrome. No, they actually might have just thought he was, like, stoic. Like, you're stiff, the human iceberg,
Oh, okay.
Cool under pressure. And he's like, I'm just terrified inside that someone's going to talk to me.
Or I'm going to be electrocuted.
Yeah, the poor guy. Damn. So, we thought we knew everything there was to know about Bill Clinton's foibles, but this one's kind of interesting. So he was president from 1993 to 2001. I'm not putting these in any kind of order except just kind of how I found
this
fine.
Stuff. I'm not
just
worried.
FYI. If
Are you guys worried?
Listening to this to try to memorize the order of the presidents, just stop, because you'll be pretty screwed up. So apparently Bill Clinton lost the personal ID code needed to confirm the nuclear launches for months. He lost him. They said that's a pretty big deal. I think he
was too busy getting high.
That was pretty good. Pretty good.
I did not inhale. Isn't that something he said?
That saxophone. I don't know. I think he was the only one who has had that issue. Maybe they said one other person, but he's unfortunately of known for losing, like, not losing the nuclear launch codes, but losing his PIN code.
It's what happens when you get high. You lose shit.
Usually... Yeah, I don't know.
He was smoking weed when he was president.
He wasn't losing the nuclear launch codes, he was going on jogs. Unfortunately, he liked to jog to his local McDonald's. That was one of his favorite pit stops, which was like a security nightmare because they wouldn't have like adequate time to sweep for assassins or whatever. That makes me like him more. I liked him less for playing the saxophone. I liked him more that he would go on jogs and then jog to McDonald's. Like, I gotta look presidential and fit. I'm gonna stop at McDonald's.
Supposedly, he's very personable. He's a very personable person.
Well, we know that because he gets Peter Griffin and Lois Griffin to sleep with him in Family Guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But I do think it's like he's so charming and personable
I think my dad might know somebody who's very right-wing who met him and was like, this guy's really nice.
Well, he's also from Arkansas, so he is like a that's a Midwest, right? Isn't that technically Midwest?
Arkansas.
But he's a Democrat, so he's like he's got to have that kind of. I think he appealed to a lot of mid or even slightly conservative people, at least in the beginning, because of his background.
Yeah. And eating at McDonald's, which is very like
he's
normal person food. Yeah.
Kind of want some McDonald's fries now. Anyway, Theodore Roosevelt is a character. I think we know that already. He was president from 1901 to 1909.
He was a badass, right? Didn't he?
He was a badass.
Didn't he run for... wasn't he prez for the longest of any prez?
No, that's Franklin Roosevelt.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I confused
I think they are related. I think Theodore was like his uncle or grandfather or something.
Okay,
we'll talk about that later.
Teddy.
I have an interesting thing about him. So I guess the reason I didn't know this, they developed the teddy bear, was because he refused to shoot or do something to a bear cub. He was like when they were out. I think he refused to shoot a bear cub while they were out on a hunt.
He like protected forests and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think he was like a hunter and then maybe became like passionate about protecting.
Well, I think you can do both.
Yeah.
As long as you aren't hunting endangered animals.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So he was a boxer. Maybe. Yeah. I definitely always see Lincoln in my head as a boxer. But anyway, so he would continue to practice when he was in the White House. And unfortunately, it caused an issue because one of his opponents landed a punch on his left eye, causing a hemorrhage and eventually a detached retina, which left him blind in his left eye.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah. So his doctor said he had to stop at that point, but he kept it a secret, and only a few people in his inner circle knew that he was blinded in one eye. And they wanted to protect the identity of the other boxer. That was part of keeping it a secret.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of a sad thing. On Valentine's Day in 1884, both his first wife and mother died. And a page from his journal just reads, "The light has gone out of my life."
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that sad? It actually shows a picture of the page with just that single line.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So while delivering a speech, he was shot. And he said, "I don't know whether you fully understand that I have just been shot. I give you my word. I do not care a rap about being shot. Not a rap." And he finished his hour-and-a-half speech with a bullet lodged in his chest.
I have heard that. I thought they missed or something, or hit something else. I didn't know the bullet was lodged in his chest.
Well, and like what does that mean exactly? Teddy Roosevelt.
In my mind, bullet lodged in your chest is like it's in your lung.
Your chest is your chest.
Or it's under the skin. It's in you. It has penetrated.
Takes more than that to kill a bull moose. Let's see.
Is that what he said? He shouts that to the gunman.
Oh, he unbuttoned his vest to reveal his blood-stained, no History Channel, I do not want to subscribe, to reveal his blood-stained shirt. It takes more than that to kill a bull moose.
You're getting that off the History Channel. Don't forget, they have ancient aliens.
I know. So he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a bullet-riddled 50-page speech. Had 2 big holes through each page. Wow.
Bullet-riddled? Wouldn't you just call that a...
He said his speech probably saved me from it going through my heart. So I cannot make a very long speech, but I will try my best. But he went on for an hour and a half. If that's not a long speech, I don't know what is.
Our politicians today are afraid of the rain.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, man.
This guy, so James Buchanan, did you scroll down to see his picture? You could make it bigger because that might kind of show you. Some of the other pictures, I think, show his face better. He was president from 1857 to 1861. He had one eye set slightly higher than the other, which resulted in him cocking his head to one side at all times. So either it was to make his vision even or to make him look like his eyes were not crooked. That doesn't really say here.
Well, it might have been just only he knew, you know?
Yeah. He has the record of being the only bachelor to be president, but there's speculation that he was gay and that he had a long-time relationship with an Alabama senator and Andrew Jackson. It's just funny how people are always bullying. They called him and the senator Miss Nancy and Aunt Fancy behind their backs.
Well, and wouldn't they hang people back then for being gay?
I guess not. I don't know. If it was not overt and there was no like proof. But they knew, yeah. And then, when the senator guy left for France, he was, I don't know, it's just sad. I guess he wrote, "I'm now solitary and alone." That's a very sad life, to not be able to just overtly like be in a relationship with the person you love.
Be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah. But, people are just always bullying each other. Miss Nancy and Aunt Fancy. Ronald Reagan, who was president from 1981 to 1989, was a believer in astrology and even employed an astrologer consultant to offer advice and input on scheduling important events.
That blows my mind. I just imagine him talking to some, like...
Froofy, airy-fairy, like Dionne Warwick, or... she's not an astrologer, I don't think.
Some white, vegan...
beaded bohemian...
woman with dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. Saying, oh yeah, I am the Iron Tiger. I'm a sign of the Iron Tiger. We have these kind of... Oh my god.
Mercury's in retrograde right now, so you don't want to make any important decisions. That's like a Valley Girl, I don't know. He wanted to clarify that astrology did not influence any policy decisions. Who believes that? Do you believe that? If he's taking as far as to reschedule events,
I'm weird for a very conservative man
yeah,
to be into that and not get bullied by his conservative men. Because like that's the kind of shit that hippie ultra liberals are into.
But he was
right?
an actor, so maybe in Hollywood he like, you know, met some airy fairies like that. I mean, a lot of people, I shouldn't dismiss it, but...
Well, I feel like you're somewhat joking about how you say it. Because you know, maybe there's some truth to certain things, but people, I think, go too far with it. And
maybe. I don't know.
That's very strange.
So,
Honey, I forgot. Oh,
yeah.
I'm reading ahead.
Yeah. I told you not to.
I'm sorry.
Fucking not to.
I'm sorry.
So, I guess he wasn't super stressed about assassination attempts. Because when John Hinckley Jr. shot him in 1981, he joked with his wife saying, "Sorry, honey, I forgot to duck."
Well, you know, he probably had his horoscope tell him that he wasn't going to die that day or some shit. So he's like, I'm fucking brave.
Right.
I've got the stars on my side.
That's true. I can never look at Ronald Reagan now without thinking about Spitting Image and the Genesis video.
I just see him as a vegan with dreadlocks now.
Wow.
That's...
Can you do a illustration of that, please? No. But in the Spitting Image style. And then just like with dreadlocks and like a long skirt and beads. And that would be great.
I'll get right on it.
Thank you.